Good morning, Destiny kids. I am so sorry I couldn't be with you guys today to show you your illustration. So what I thought I would do is show it to you from my home so you can watch it with your parents. So let's do a little review first. So we've been talking about the books of the Bible. So let's go in order, the first 10. So I'm going to say the first one and you say the second one. So Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings. So Genesis 1:1 was talking about creation. In the beginning is your verse. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That was Genesis 1:1, and that's the first book of the Bible. And then the second book of the Bible is Exodus, and your verse was, let my people go, from Exodus 5:1. And then the last week we did Leviticus. That's the third book of the Bible. That book of the Bible talks about choices. Moses and the people of Israel had choices to make. And I gave you a memory verse on Wednesday, so look at that and try and get that memorized before this Wednesday. But I'm going to show you an illustration about choices. We all make good choices and we make bad choices. And whom helps us make good choices? God does. God gives us wisdom. God gave Moses and the people of Israel wisdom in building the temples, in following the 10 commandments, in leaving Egypt, in going into a foreign land. He gave them wisdom, but he also gave them choices. And we have to choose to obey. Obedience is a choice. But with God's help, we can obey. So I'm going to turn my camera here so you guys can see the illustration I'm going to do. Let's turn the camera here. So you see that empty bowl of water at the empty bowl? We're going to put water in there. Okay. So this is the world around us. And this is all the things that can happen to us. And they can be good things, but usually they're not always good things, are they? But things that we don't want to really, we have choices to make in the world, right? So, do we want to sink or do we want to swim? So I got an egg, and this egg represents us. So what happens if we're in the world and we make a bad choice and we don't obey God? What's going to happen to the egg? Is it going to float or is it going to sink? The egg is going to, did you see that? It sunk. Put some more water in there. That egg went down. Is that egg floating on top? That egg is on the bottom of the bowl because bad choices will make us sink in the world. And we don't want to sink, do we? So we want to obey God. So let me show you this other bowl. Okay. So again, this is water. And do we want to sink or do we want to stay atop of things? And do we want to obey? So when you obey, you're on top, right? So let me fill the bowl with water. Again, this is things that can happen around us and cause us to disobey our parents, to disobey God, to not do what we're supposed to do. Okay? So if I put that egg in there, what's going to happen? Well, Jesus helps us, right? So we're going to say that Jesus is the salt. Jesus is the salt of the earth, right? So I'm going to put that salt in there. And I'm going to stir that salt up. And if we have Jesus with us, what's going to happen? Let me get this so you guys can see it better. Are we going to sink or are we going to float? So here's us. We're this egg. And now we have the world is the water and all the bad things that can happen. But Jesus is the salt of the earth and he helps us to obey and to listen and to do what we're supposed to do. So I'm going to put this egg in. And look what happened. The egg is floating on the water. Because what? Because we have Jesus. And Jesus helps us obey and helps us stay afloat in the bad things that can happen to us. So let's do this one more time together, just so you can remember the lesson. So this is the bowl of water, and the water is the world. And choices do we have to make? But we didn't ask Jesus to help us. Jesus is not with us in this bowl. And this is us, and what happens? That egg sank all the way down. This bowl is Jesus, has Jesus in it. And I put salt in, and that represents Jesus. So the water is the world, and things that we have to choose to do right or wrong, right? And this egg is us. So this is the world, but we have Jesus to help us. He's the salt. What's going to happen to us? We're going to conquer. We're going to stay afloat and not be defeated. So let me turn my camera back up here. So remember to keep Jesus with you always. And if you have a tough decision to make, what's he going to do? Are you going to sink or are you going to stay afloat? So remember to follow Jesus, to obey Jesus, obey your parents, your teachers, people around you, and you'll stay on top and not sink to the bottom. I love you guys. Have a great week, and we'll talk more on Wednesday.